Oh, oops, that's not what we want. That's not what we want either. That's what we want. Yeah! Alright, anyway, guys, welcome to, this is 111th episode, 111, Trip Ones, Chronicles of Tyria podcast. We're gonna be talking September feature pack. Sean's gonna be drawing something, I don't know, maybe. Things are happening. Stay tuned for all the ranting. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 111th episode of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, Gw2 podcast, 4 fans, 5 fans. I'm Lagwin. The lovely screen that you can see represents Son, who is a very lovely lady, who is amazing and does all these wonderful things for me, free of charge, because I can't afford to pay her. That's not what this is about. This is a Guild Wars 2 podcast, and we are here to talk about the feature pack. And oh, is there a lot, or not a lot, depending on how you look at it, to say about that.
Yeah.
So, let's, you know what? Let's see if stream. Oh, okay. So let's skip right ahead to the mailbag. So, boom. That's shoutouts. Mailbag. Yeah. Alright. So, we got a fair bit of stuff. We got some walls of text and some ranty stuff, but let's go through the positive things first. Oh, wow. VTA Vok. I gotta thank you for your Mystic Forge Stone theory. I just finished making the moot on Saturday after 4 months of getting the precursor from your D. Alright, well, I'm glad that I could help you. It was a crazy theory of mine, and it turns out that it worked in a lot of cases, so glad I could help. Alright, speaking of that, there was one, and I don't know if it's trolling or not, but there was one of the more recent comments on that same video said, "What's a precursor?" I don't know if that's like a new player, especially, we'll talk about new players in a little bit, but, like, and they don't know what it is, or it's a troll.
Hard to say.
Well, Guy, I'm sorry that my theory did not work for you. It doesn't work for everybody. It is still RNG, but the results seem to be more positive. I'm getting a lot more positive comments on it than I am negative. But anyway, the 110th episode of the podcast. That was last week. Let's see. Levi said, "Son's right. That's because you guys are awesome. I think variety and quality of the content you upload pays off. I'm really curious about how this feature patch is going to turn out overall. The minis stored in the wardrobe along with the new trading post look quite convenient. On a side note, I really love the new logo. Blah, blah, blah. I really love the new logo. Kudos to the team. Irish Dog
I wonder.
41. Sorry, Gab.
I wonder what I was right on about.
I think I was saying that we're getting more subscribers and more viewers because we're one of the only ones that's still putting out content, like weekly content.
Normally I just say that we're awesome whenever you see stuff.
No,
like
I
that.
said that, and then you basically said it's because we're awesome, and they're like, I think someone's right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay. Irish Dog, I saw your comment. I'm trying to pull up a link to the video. Here it is. Oh, don't listen to that. Okay, Irish Dog 41. This link is for you. That is my Mystic Forge Stone theory to get the precursor, which was using rare items and Mystic Forge Stones. I was just doing it as an experiment just to try to get rid of stuff to see what I could get out of it. Decided I would stream it, and then lo and behold, a precursor came pretty early on, and a bunch of, you can check the comments below, a lot of people had similar luck. Alaska said, another great podcast, but ended too short. Leave him in suspense, huh? Now I'm curious as to what you were going to get. I don't even remember. What was I saying last week?
What?
Oh, well, guess what? You have to read because my wife's calling me. I'm hungry.
Okay, yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe the recording just cut off on us. Anyways, Matt G says, hey guys, glad to see Son doodling again. Couple of things. The only reason I can see keeping us from being able to Mystic Forge Jennas is that we could sell and make some profit off the new mini, even if that's a lame excuse. I think instead of a voice actor for the jellyfish, they should just use unintelligible squishy sounds. That would be actually really funny in the story instances. Yes, you are completely right, boss. Anyways, you can add me to the list of potential guests if you'd like. And lastly, Leg, I have a lot of suggestions and tips about cold forging your armor stuff. I am no master smith, but I have done some metal work in college and learned about different metal properties while working in the scrapyard. Shoot me an email if you'd like to discuss options and where to look for cheap metal.
Okay, I'm back.
For those of you who weren't here last week, it's because Leg's insane, and he's decided that he's going to make actual metal armor. Guild Wars metal armor.
Yes. Alaska, now I know what it was. I was going to get my hammer to play air guitar. I think that's what it was. At the end there, right? Because I remember I grabbed my hammer to play air guitar. I did one of these.
Yeah.
Grab this, and I was playing air guitar, the theme song. That might have been what I went to go grab. So that might have been it. I don't know why YouTube cut it off at the end. That's so annoying.
Yeah.
It might be a functionality of the updates to Twitch lately. The export feature might be a little screwy. Alright, thank you for taking over for that.
You're welcome.
Michael Ramirez, oh my god, the new logo looks amazing. I got to get a shirt of that. Funny you should mention that, sir. If you head to www, I'm typing this out in the chat as I speak, cafepress.com/COT trading post, you can actually get just that, a Chronicles of Tyria new logo t-shirt, along with several other things like lettuce prophecies and other things like that. So, I saw baby carriage. Oh, are they talking about what's going on? Oh, your slipper with teeth / baby carriage. That's what they're. I gotcha.
Oh.
The chat's all over the place. I'm confused. Alright. So, yeah, go ahead and check out our website, our Cafe Press store. We're working on updating just the look of it to make it more COT-y, if you will. But you can still purchase any of the shirts and things that are there, so feel free to go take a look. Next up was on our most recent Lag and the Ladies, which released on Tuesday. If you guys saw that episode, you know we're kind of in a weird spot. with the feature pack developments and how we're going to continue to do it. So we asked you guys to tell us what you would like to see from us, and we got some responses. So Klob said, something I would personally like to see that wouldn't require grinding but would require 5 level 80s is the different stories for the dungeons, both story and exploration path. I feel like I have never much chance to learn the stories due to groups just wanting to speedrun them all. I'm sure the video would be mostly combat, but that would allow opportunities to elaborate on what is going on in the story and or tactics on how to beat the dungeon ourselves. Dungeons have barely been touched in patches and probably won't be in the near future, so shouldn't have any issues arising later on. That's true. It is definitely something we could do. I'll have to see how the ladies feel about doing some dungeon stuff. Also, how our group comp would work. We need to switch all of our characters because we need to be level 80s.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, we could just all pull our mains and do it that way. And I
know how to dungeon most of the time with my main, so that would work well for me.
So we'd be a guardian, a thief, and 2 Ellies. We're gonna need somebody. We need somebody else. We'll see what happens. We'll get to that. But thank you, Klopp, for your response. That's something we definitely could do. So we're gonna talk probably this weekend, or knowing us, probably Monday, a half an hour before the show, and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
And then Levi said, I agree with Matt. It would be great to follow CoT inside Tyrion's dungeons. Another level 80 required possibility that comes to mind is the whole Living Story 2 content, exploration of Drytop and so on, since it's now permanent content. But yeah, it sort of feels like everyone below level 80 gets the short end of the stick with this feature pack. We'll get to that. That's all I'm going to say with that comment.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting to that, let's start with our other mailbag that came in the form of emails. I'm gonna let you take Tyr's first piece, since I've been talking a lot. So
yeah. Okay, so Tyr emailed us. I know everyone is raging on the recent patches update, and while it's not perfect, I don't mind it as much. I have characters ranging from level 2 to level 80. My new characters are flying through levels. In a couple of hours, I went from level 1 to level 10 plus. Sorry, at work I can't tell you exactly what level or how long, I just know that it is faster than normal. I like the fact that unlocking the skills on one weapon will unlock on all of them. I hated having to level each weapon individually, especially on a class like Warrior. Is some of it frustrating, like not being able to continue the story until you're level 10? Yes. I think the purpose behind it is to make people learn the game before they start diving into the story. It does make it frustrating for those of us who have been playing since the beginning. Yet it's not that hard to adapt to. I haven't tried this on any of my my 20 levels, etc. characters, so I'm not sure how affected I am there. I like the compass, which alerted me that I'd missed a few hearts on tier lag, and it alerts me to events in the area and where they are. Personally, I think the best update has to be the TP. I love the ease of use for it. Searching is a hell of a lot easier. Seeing what transactions are pending is nice, and finding what you have pending to sell is nice. I had items on the TP for 4 months and I didn't know it. A little insert here. That feature has been there for a while. It's just buried under the bad UI. Anyways, those are my incoherent thoughts to share. I know people are upset with it, and I don't blame them. I also know I'm probably the odd bird out in actually not minding the changes. I was more upset with the change to read the wind for rangers, going from increasing the distance to increasing the rate of fire, than I was with anything else.
Okay.
Yep.
So thank you for that. And I will read Alu's wall of text / rant. So prepare yourself. Going to try and make this not a wall of text, but after today's post from Colin and other devs, I have to say I'm still very much disappointed with the direction of the new player experience and the effects it has on everyone. Rather, I'm upset on how they're handling it post-backlash. Alu, don't be sorry, it's all true. A
Yeah.
lot of people claim backpedaling on their part based on the very huge bug that is causing all new players to view the new leveling system as it is. I really think they may be telling the truth that it is a bug. No, what I think they are backpedaling on is claiming it was for us. Quote, that is, at the end of the day, a win for all of us since all of you need more people to play with. End quote. You hear that? We need more people to play with. They have the authority to decide what we as players need. I, for one, feel as if the maps I'm visiting are nearly too full. Collection events go by way too quickly without time to actually do anything upon seeing it very often. I realize I'm in a full server too. A friend has been trying to join for a week now. No, I don't actually think they are too full, but thanks to the mega server, the maps are bustling. Unless the idea of the mega server was actually to make it seem as if they weren't losing players wasn't just a conspiracy theory after all. They said that the implementation was all about pacing, not dumbing things down for anyone. Wouldn't want to get offensive now, would we? But of course, feeding cows and using diving goggles at a low level is still apparently beyond a newbie's skill range. Not to mention the number of dialogues that say, come back when you have more experience in the world, or something to that effect is pretty much everywhere. Also, there's a lot of talk about retention. They need to make things easier and more rewarding because it apparently kept more of these tens of thousands of players, testing players on board. And adding these new players are to help them and us, right? Win-win? Well, if I'm brutally honest, I'm not sure I want to play with people who have that much problem and disinterest in the game that ANET is having problems keeping them playing. Shrugs. Turns out to have been a wall of text anyway, sorry. It's also a bit of messy rambling, but I hope you can see what I'm trying to say at least. And I guess the dev post came off as a little aggressive, so I'm feeling a little heated over it. /rant. I don't think you're wrong. That is also very loud, isn't it, in the background? Is it loud? Music? Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Okay, then it's fine. Okay. No, Aloe, I gotta agree with what you said. I'll admittedly haven't been too in the loop with everything that's going on. But it's just ridiculous. But I don't know. I don't like the way they make it seem like Guild Wars 2 players are stupid, and that they know what we need as players. They can give us things that they think we need, but they can't tell us what we need.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, anyway, on a lighter note, every Wednesday we release a comic here at Chronicles of Tyria called No Gathering Tool Equipped, and as per usual, we had yet another issue, and it explains some questions you may have been having about Dermod, the Char character, so you can check this out. And there's the link there, and you can go to chroniclesoftyria.com/comic to check that out there as well. Also, that Trading Post merchandise store, you can get the No Gathering Tool Equipped logo stuff. So there you go. Son works very hard on all these things. Showing her support would be nice. So let's get the.
Because I love you guys, CoT.
We have to change the stream. I have to put the new logo in the stream because it's not there right now. It's the old sort of middle range logo.
I see the new logo on the stream.
You do?
Yep.
Where? Below me?
On the top corner where the logo goes. Oh, no, below you.
No, that's the
I thought you meant actually on Twitch.
No. I meant in the stream, stream window itself, I should say. I don't have a copy of the logo easily accessible. Otherwise, well. Thank you, dogs. My wife's home. So why don't you talk about the Mini Chieftain and Mini Svanir while I mute my mic?
Okay. I'll have to scroll down. I think I totally was excited to see these. I hate non-animal minis because they look weird. Apparently, okay, the Mini Chieftain and the Mini 7, it looks like an N. They actually do have the funny little paw thingies over top of them, because you can actually preview them, now, which is, that's pretty cool, the fact that you can preview the, minis. So, I guess this Fania is the one that looks like the bear, and Chieftain is Jotun. I don't understand why they have tags above their heads. And I have, yeah, woo, exciting. Yes, he has a wife alarm. Okay. I don't know. I don't like minis that aren't animals because they just put them in respect of like RP. They just are too weird. Like, why do we have a mini person running behind us? You know? Yeah. I don't know. Leg needs to come back.
I'm back.
Okay.
Thank you, hon. I had to mute it because, puppies were going nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. You're the best.
There might be some bites out of one of those.
Wow, I think I can live with that. Thanks. Sorry guys, I'm back. Yeah, kind of a waste, if you ask me. I'm not a huge fan of these. But, I mean, I guess some people out there might like them, right?
Yeah. It's not the worst thing they've done this week.
Hang on, one sec.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I like the updates to the mini panel, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Would we like any graphics / overlay made for our stream? I think we're okay right now, Rayana. Thank you, though. Do you have anything in mind? Actually, that's a better question. Because I conceptually thinking of any kind of overlays or things for the stream, that might be difficult for me. But if you have any ideas or things that you're like, oh man, this I think would be really cool, I would love to see them or hear your ideas. That would be more likely. No, I'm not typing a Facebook update, Alcarlina. I was not doing that. Anyway, I wasn't. And we're moving on. I posted that twice, apparently, which I didn't mean to. The next little thing, sort of, I guess it's not really little, is Living Stories coming back in November. November?
Yeah. Yeah, all the way in November, which means that, okay, this is one of the things that pissed me off the most, okay? He literally said, I believe it was Colin specifically, said they could not bring SAB back this year at all because it would break the story. Yet, assuming that they are going to bring back Halloween, which at this point in time I don't even trust them to do,
they have to.
that's 6 weeks without any living story. And that's less disruptive to the living story fluidness than SAB. 2 weeks of SAB.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, how does that make any freaking sense? What pissed me off the most is they're breaking all their promises.
Yeah.
Basically, and it feels a lot like they're lying to our faces.
It was. Al Cardone is right. It was a World v. World dev that said he didn't think they could fit into the Living Story. Which, again, was why a World v. World dev answering Living Story questions. But
yeah, why was he then?
So, November, you have to wait for November for the continuation of the story. Which means, unfortunately, for me, well, fortunately, unfortunately, I probably won't be playing that much Guild Wars 2 between now and then. I mean, I'll be obviously logging on to do any of the recordings and things that we do here and keeping up to date on things to do the podcast, but I find myself recently, I'm really only drawn into the game when there's the new story stuff to go play.
Mm-hmm.
And,
you're not the only one.
I mean, the collection stuff is cool, and I did have fun last night. Although, side note on the collection thing that we'll get to in a little bit, having to manually remove each mini and then have to manually click to add them to your collection, such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but I kind of like it because a lot of the minis I have, I don't necessarily want to keep.
Oh, I wanted them for the collector side of it. but I probably have over like 200 minis, so I had to do that
Yeah.
by hand. Like right click, yes, 200 times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would have liked a you know what would be solve so many problems in Guild Wars 2? If you could just hold control and select multiple things. You know, select 4 or 5 things in your bag, right click, sell at trading post, it pulls up all the listings. Solves so much. Yeah, Jax, November.
Yeah, November 4th.
Yep.
But they can't do that because the trading post would never survive that. I mean,
no, it wouldn't.
Their recent change over, like, to the product that they're using now to be the backbone for the trading post is broken. They've partially fixed it, making it actually harder to diagnose.
Yeah, to be honest, some of the features of the new trading post I really like. But when I was trying to sell stuff, I felt like so confused about what any of the stuff on the screen meant.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, what I was talking about is because I don't remember what they were using before, but they're using this thing called coherent UI. So I'm actually one of the people that was locked out because coherent UI was freezing and crashing, and therefore locking up the launcher. So I couldn't get into Guild Wars. And so far, at least based on what we've heard from ArenaNet, they still haven't fixed that issue. It was 14 hours from launch that there was the last time that a dev mentioned anything on the forums with respect to that thread. Some users found the actual workaround, which will actually, since I'm talking about it, technically out of turn, but
you know what? We're going to the feature patch notes / quick rundown of that. So just get on with your bad self.
Yeah, if your launcher, like the patcher, if it is crashing or if it is hanging indefinitely, not doing anything, because they've partially fixed it, so now it just doesn't even give you an error, it just sits there in oblivion for an infinite amount of time. The first post on the link that I linked there will give you the solution that works for most people. By most, I mean like 90% of us.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea that was even a thing because things just worked out for me. Did you see Alaska's comment in there? What do you think about that?
Do you think one of the reasons not for sub would decrease the amount of people in the new zone, making it less desirable?
You know, draw people out of dry top.
Oh, pulling them out of dry top?
Yeah, because they just made this new zone.
Is dry top still really active?
It is because they added some of the collection stuffs take place in dry top. Or you have to go to dry top to get those things, and it kind of drives you back there.
Yeah, but even just taking a break for 2 weeks to give us SAB would give, especially during this time when everyone's trying to all the veterans to this patch, putting in SAB would give us something that would actually bring us in game to go play the patch. To actually, like, the only reason why I want to play the patch is, one, I have a friend who's a total newbie, so I always play with her. And 2, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just being a veteran, change is bad, blah, blah, blah. I played, like, I made a brand new character so I could try to experience it fully, so I wasn't just hating on it.
Okay.
Unjustifiably. Now I hate on it justifiably.
Fair. Alright, well that's something. Yeah, and Alaska kind of has a point with there's so many slices of pie that comprise Guild Wars 2. I guess if you look at it that way, that's with all the new stuff that they've added, that's potentially just a way to spread the player base out even further. I guess that would be a better way to approach the topic, is it would spread the player base out. And in doing so, maybe you wouldn't be able to get your tier 4, tier 5, whatever you needed in dry top, because the fossilized weapons, that's one of the collecting every single one of those. That's one of the collection achievements.
See, you know what? If they would just say that, like, yeah, I'd be upset, but it wouldn't be so bad as just, like, they're not talking to us at all.
No, but they know what we need. Like, don't you know? They know what we need. But yeah. Let's move on. So you know what? I'm not even gonna look through the patch notes because I did, and I played the game. So let's just go with the things that stand out and get our kind of opinions on these things. So they added this collections section of achievements, and in doing so, they grouped up some of the achievements, which I don't agree with. I feel like grouping bosses, exploration, all that stuff into general all in one, I feel like that was kind of a mistake.
Yeah, because if one category is way too large or anything like that.
But that's because you probably couldn't have too many categories because that's too confusing for new players. They wouldn't be able to handle like 3 more lines in a list. That's like, when you go more than 5, that's a whole other IQ bracket. You can't handle that. Not Guild Wars 2 players.
Because new players totally even know what achievements are.
Yeah, I know. So, basically, the collections, there's 3 different sections. There's basic, rare, and what's it called? Black Lion. And the way these things work is it rewards you for finding and collecting things in the game. It's not to the degree that I had thought it. I thought there was going to be a lot more, and there's not that many.
Yeah.
For instance, I logged in and I got exotic, which was having one piece of all of the exotic, or having unlocked in my wardrobe all of the exotic craftable gear, which I had done that already, so I got that upon logging in. You know what? I got some ascended materials. Fine. What?
Was that a one-off, or was that one of the ones that like gave that chest?
No, this was a one-off. Like you get the daily pop, and it gets you like a lesser vision crystal and a few other things. So then I looked through, and I was like, oh, I'm like a couple off from the rare, the blue/green, and then the rare. So I just bought them off the trading post. It cost me, which funny enough, the prices on some of those have skyrocketed because people are just like the ones that people never got, and they're just buying them now.
Yeah.
So like a level 35 medium armor chest piece is like a gold. Because people don't have it and they're too lazy. And I'll be honest, I did it. I paid a gold for something that probably should cost me 20 silver to craft. But I was too lazy, so I just bought it.
Well, what's the point of even being on?
So, you know. I did that, and then there was a couple other, the rare collections ones. There's one for, and there was another one where it's eat one of every kind of steak in the game that gets you a metabolic primer, and use every kind of like sharpening stone and toxic sharpening stone, those ones. And then you get a utility primer, so that was kind of cool. I did that one. And then some of them were like basically unlock every single skin for all of the dungeons. That's like in the rare section.
Yeah.
So, and you get a bag that gives you something. I don't remember what it is because I'm not good at remembering all these things. Then, I mean, there's also they did add interesting things like the collecting the jars and the spoons and stuff like that, which is a brand new thing in the game where it's like collect one of these 12 jars across Tyria. And some of them are at renowned vendors, some of them are not. Some of them, they added in items just for the purposes of completing these collections, which is kind of cool. And it's like a scavenger hunt for you in the game.
Yeah.
If you want to go for it.
I like that.
That was good. I like those things.
Because it's like the diving goggles scavenger hunt.
One of the things was like Dwayna's vestment. It's a Dwayna based thing. So it's unlock all of the Dwayna items, which is like the 2 Dwayna bows, the wings of Dwayna, the feathers of Dwayna, the back piece, the light of Dwayna. There's 2 trinkets. There's a necklace, I think, and a ring. And then there's a new thing that they added. It has no purpose other than helping you complete this. So,
Oh, really?
but most of those drop from the Dwayna boss in ore.
Oh, okay,
So
that
it
makes sense.
forces you to go fight Dwayna because it's a drop from that world event. VTA boxes. There's a few hidden collection achievements like God Skull weapons and the Ogre weapons. You have to kill Grawl in Frostgorge for a Grawl paw, and the Ogres, I haven't found the items yet. Why is Son? I think that's supposed to be me, or is that you?
No, that's just random.
Okay, because it looks like it's either it's got a beard and an orange Dataminer looking hat, and your name is right underneath it, so people think it's you.
Well, people thought it was a ninja at first, so...
Fair enough. You know what? Wait till the end. You gotta wait till the end to figure out what the meaning is behind that. But I do like the idea of the scavenger hunt stuff. The Black Lion ones are ridiculous. It's collecting one of every set of certain Black Lion weapons, and then you get like 7 Black Lion claim tickets back. Which is cool, or maybe it's more than that depending on which items, but some of them aren't even available anymore, like the Sclerite and the Winter's Day ones. You can't get for tickets, so you have to buy them off the trading post, and that's going to cost you thousands of gold. So, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell for collections. It's cool.
Yeah.
There's collecting things from everything from junk to, again, the spoons or the jars or whatever else. There's a new NPC that you can go talk to get like more information for collections and stuff.
Well, he'll tell you if you've already managed to find one. Or something like that.
Alright. So that's cool.
But that's only for some sets. Some sets unlock when you happen to come across one. Some are already visible to people, even if they haven't actually, gotten anything. And then some of them are hidden, and you need to just go talk to the collector.
Okay. They added, just real quick, added 3 new sigils, 3 new rune sets. Not really nuts personally about any of those, although the Superior Rune of Radiance that boosts aura radiance, or aura duration rather, I could see some pretty interesting Ellie aura share builds. Like my old Dagger Ellie had an aura share build, but this would boost the duration of that by 33%. Which could potentially give you permanent aura uptime. So, alright, see you later. Thanks for coming out for a little bit anyway. Were you at Dragon Con? That makes me sad. There's a lot of people at Dragon Con that I missed out on, just to jump back. Like Matt Visual was at Dragon Con. I could have been like, hey Matt, where are you? I'm gonna come hang out. Totally missed him. That was sad. Anyway. So I guess one of the other big things is they broke outfits out of, what's it called? They broke outfits out of armor as far as that part of the UI, and then they added minis and finishers. This, not a huge deal, but like a very big quality of life thing.
Yeah.
Having the minis be, have their own slot, which is something we've always talked about.
Yeah, you can actually use them now because they'll always be out. Every time you waypoint or map or whatever, you don't have to put them back out. I say waypoint because I usually waypoint because I'm dead. So, yeah, no, that's great. The script is broken, but yeah, it's a really good slot. I say the script because it's your minis get suppressed if there's too many people on the map. And the script is, I've seen devs say over and over and over again in the forums that it's working as intended. However, this is also in reply to posts where people are talking about how their mini is getting suppressed and they're getting the request for them to leave the shard. Their shard is so empty, they're being offered the volunteer's blessing to leave. Yet somehow the mini's being suppressed because there's too many people. So I don't understand how that works.
Hmm.
The parameter somewhere is messed up.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Again, the minis, you can actually preview the minis and the finishers now in the UI, which is nice. You don't have to go try to find them online somewhere.
Yeah.
They also have the neat little thing where if it's on sale, it has like a different color tag. So if you like wanted to buy it, they'll tell you like this is available, this is not available, or like this is available and it's on sale, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. And you can really see a lot of nice details in the UI on the minis that you've never been able to see before.
All right. So that was a big deal. You know, a small thing that was like a big deal. But again,
Yeah.
finisher preview in game should have been something from the start of the game when finishers were in the game. Like,
yeah,
that should have been a thing. Or when they made the rehaul to finishers, that should have been previewing them should have been an option in my mind.
Yeah.
They added the new crafting backpacks to the ones that the China launch had, where there's the 8 different, I think it's 8 different backpacks per profession. Also, they did add a new back piece if you collect all the I'm gonna call them aetherized, but that's wrong. The Guardian Spirit weapons. There's the skins, like, you know, there's Visions of the Mist and Faux Fire's Essence, or whatever those are called, the blue glowy ones.
Okay.
If you have unlocked in your wardrobe all of the weapons, the shield, the bow, the hammer, the greatsword, and the 2 bows, then you get a special themed in that same kind of blue glowy back piece.
Right.
That goes with that. Which is a cool thing they added for the collections, but as far as I know, that's the only collection that has something like that. There are collections that say get a unique weapon skin. When they mean a unique weapon skin, they mean from a choice of the champion bag weapon skins, like Crystal Guardian, Genesis, Entropy, Monsoon, Combustion, those type of skins. If it says it offers a unique weapon skin, it offers you that. But
that's not unique.
Well, it's unique in that there is nothing else like it. You know what I mean?
Oh.
It's its own skin. And then the other side of that is there is actually a collection for collecting all of those skins.
Yeah, that's
true. So they kind of synergize a little bit depending on how you look at it. Because some of them are pretty expensive. Like Crystal Guardian is a pretty pricey. The kind of the glowy, icy greatsword. That's a pretty expensive one to buy. So, you know, if you could get it for free, essentially, through the collection, that wouldn't be bad. Gw2 says you guys have to check out this new his equipment design equipment tab redesign. Ooh.
That is really nice looking, actually.
Yeah, I would not mind having this.
That's really nice. That is like so much information that's already like scattered in the other tabs.
Yes. So, you guys, if you're here in the chat with us live, you should check out the link that Gw2 just pushed out there. I will also make sure I copy this right now, put this in the show notes, so that we can add this to the description.
Yeah.
So,
good find.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did they add? Oh, the combat log changes for PvPers is it's a little thing that I wasn't expecting to get, and it's really neat. Have you played around with this at all?
Nope.
Well, have you looked at the combat log ever? It's like one of the
I think I have it off right now.
Okay, but you know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is, and I think I have had it on before. But then I think I turned it off and forgot it off or something like that.
Okay.
But then again, it was always so difficult because it's all, like, it'd just be a giant wall of text.
Yeah, I mean, people typically make a separate tab for that in their chat window so they can just see, like, if they got nuked by something, what killed them.
Yeah, well, especially in PvP, for sure.
Yeah, and now you can organize it by buff damage, show only incoming buffs, incoming heals, outgoing heals, whatever. So you can see, like let's say you wanted to run a healing build and you wanted to see how effective your heals were. Well, now you can know, or like how much damage, and I think it'll also say like, incoming interrupts. Like if you get interrupted by something, and like, what the hell was that? And now you'll know. And mitigated damage is things like protection or Aegis, locks, and things like that. So there's some cool utility to that for a PvPer or a worlder, so that's neat. There's the Glorious reward track that they added to get the Glorious armor pieces, a new PvP track. They added Golem Mastery as a line in World v World, and the Siege Disabler grenades that shut Siege down. There's the big thing with the Commander unlock is now account-wide, and it comes with extra colors. And actually, tomorrow starts the World v World tournament.
No.
So I guess that's part of the thing they're thinking. That'll take you to October 10th. So that might be like the thing that they're thinking is like that's like the mid ground, and then Halloween for October, and then the Living Story.
Yeah, I actually there's a new narrative director that started as of September, so that might be also another reason why we have a very sudden, without warning, giant ass break. Because I mean, honestly, it really seemed like they were just kind of like, oh shit, the next patch isn't ready, so just wait.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it felt like with the feature patch coming out, and then now with the announcement, they're like, shit, this is a lot of backlash for this feature patch, so let's delay the Living Story a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like, but it could be things like the narrative director, her coming on and tweaking things, or I don't know. They don't tell us anything, and then they wonder why we get so upset.
Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, we've always given them very good feedback whenever they've actually talked to us beforehand.
True.
So, I don't know why they didn't do a CDI for new player ideas. So.
I think... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Speaking of CDI, there's yet another guild one.
Oh, yeah?
That they've also pulled out. Which is funny because most people, especially in the first few posts, just kept linking back to all the other guild CDIs that they've made in the past. It's like, rather than just repeating myself, here you go.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What else do we have? I'm not going to go into the profession changes. They did do some balancing and tweaking to the profession skills and things like that. There's a lot there. I would say read it if I'm not going to bother going into it because that's just a ton of stuff to read through.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's scroll up to... Let's get some other stuff out of the way. A couple of optimization, little tweaks to things. Some items appear in the wardrobe. Blah blah blah. Mega server. Oh, they tweaked the crafting UI a little bit. So when you
I haven't looked at it.
If you're gonna build something and it has a requirement for you to build the requirement first, it'll then open up the recipe for the whatever you need for the requirement, so you don't have to leave the window. So that's, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That does.
Some world fixes. The guild unification was a big deal. Now there's one guild bank and one group of influence across any members. I think that was a sizable jump in CoT's influence from what I saw. Because we're almost at 800k now.
Okay, yeah.
So we're like 750k achievement points, but that's good because I have some new friends who joined, but they were on a different server and we're gonna be guesting over for to play and things like that. So being able to access the guild bank, the same one the rest of us have, is useful. All right, let's talk about. You're gonna have to escort me through the new player experience because I did not make a new character. So
okay, Well, as all of you know, they level gated the shit out of everything. And I
Tell
don't
it
mean
like it is, sister. Preach it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, and it's not just like, oh, they don't give you a pop-up to tell you about this stuff. Like, some of it is literally gated. And I guess, first link I want here is a thread that is, really helpful in explaining exactly what is level gated and what is not. Because there are things that just, like, the icon's missing, but you could technically still go and find it. Like, surrogates look like they're level gated because they don't tell you about them. You can't find them on the map or anything like that. Like, they don't show up on the mini map, but you can go walk through one. Like, it's not going to function like many other things in the world do. Again, I don't know if I should just regurgitate all my links here or what.
Do what you want.
Or talk about.
Do what you feel.
Yeah, I understand, and when I was reading through the forums and stuff like that, especially that thread, I really understand some of the things that they did, like level gating things like vistas and POIs just so that they don't show up on the minimap, I guess can be helpful. The compass, I logged into Cyan, my main. She has world completion. I nearly lost my shit with that compass. I lasted about 5 minutes before I started looking to try to figure out how to turn it off, because they literally said in the notes, or in the reveal, that there would be a way for us to toggle in advanced options, like toggle something with it. There's no advanced options. There's no way to control it. So I've just got this stupid compass saying, go do local events. Go do local events. Go do local events. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. But on unleveled, on an uncompleted character, it's fantastic. It's really fantastic. It really helps direct your wandering in a way. It's still buggy. Apparently it's been leading a couple of noobs to their death by directing them either off of a cliff or into, like, high-level maps.
Interesting.
Because they'll just pick the nearest, It picks which thing it's going to point to as the crow flies.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily literally the closest thing to you. It's just, you're right beside this heart, but that heart is on top of a cliff, or at the bottom of a cliff, or, stuff like that.
Guy81 says you can turn it off.
Well, then that has to be since the hot patch, because it was not there when I finally fought my way in.
Well,
I checked.
We'll have to play around with it after the fact.
Yeah.
Right. So what else you got?
So from there, I went on and I made a brand new character. I did the tutorial. And, well, here's what the tutorial taught me. When you load in, it tells you WASD to move. If you wait about 10-20 seconds, it'll tell you that you can use how to move the camera. That's great. Then you go talk to the person. They say, go fight your way. I picked a chart. So it tells you to go fight your way through the barracks. So I walked through the barracks because nothing attacks you. And I already have my weapon 1 skill unlocked. And that's the only thing I can do on my entire bar other than, like, heal. So, WASD to move and press 1 to attack. Got it. And F to talk to people. So I go and I talk to the next guy. He tells me to go to the boss. You just sprint to the boss. You don't do nothing. You don't look around. No. They're expecting you. They're waiting on you. How dare you hold up the boss? You have to go. So you go fetch Ritlock. You do the big boss fight. And then you kick out. At which point, your reward for level 2 is to be given an improved version of the weapon you already have. This character is level 6. I still am using a mace because I haven't been given anything else. So now I have a level weapon slot number 2. Don't have access to any of my class mechanics at all. So I have no idea what makes a guardian special from a warrior. Or if I do because I did my research, I'm wondering what the hell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to jump. And as I'm going around doing all these hearts, I can't use environmental weapons.
All right.
So one of the funnest events is to clean up that metal, the scrapyard, not the scrapyard, but right beside the scrapyard, where you pick up unexploded mortar shells and you throw them at Flame Legion. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Like, why can't you? I mean, that means that one of the fun events for one of the other heart, actually, they added a heart by the cattle ranch to kill all those spiders. Like, literally, the only thing you can do in the newbie zones right now is kill things for the hearts. That's all you do. So I don't understand what's so different about Guild Wars 2 versus any other MMO. You go in, you press one auto attack, kill shit, kill 10 rats, you get the heart. Like, I level up super quick because it takes like one renown heart and maybe a little bit to get a level.
Okay.
Like, it takes nothing to get up to, like, I think I was level 5 in an hour.
Okay.
And that's without doing any exploration.
They tweaked it so that it's easier to get from 1 to 15. So, to reiterate that, they removed anything, like, you don't feed the cows, you talk to the cows, or pet the cows, or whatever. You just talk to the plants, you don't go pick up a bucket of water and dump it on the plants. You can't use environmental weapons, so you basically just attack things. And then this is... So, when do you get your third skill? Is that tied to a level, too?
Yeah. Third skill was level 4. I think I didn't actually receive it till level 5 because this thing is buggy as hell and nothing's going down when they're supposed to. Or spell. And I'm pretty sure it was you that... Yeah. So that is the post with respect to the VIP, supposedly. Here's Colin Johansson saying that this isn't its final form yet. It's all buggy, nothing is sitting where it's supposed to, and he keeps saying that they'll change it if it turns out it doesn't work. But I have a feeling that they're going to do way more damage before they actually think to roll it back.
Well, did you see Alu's comment? And I was thinking this myself. So many websites, like, they won Game of the Year in 2012 when it came out. And one of the things they were toting, and so many people were toting, is, and like Alu says, for not using the kill 10 rats method to level yourself up at launch. Go here, kill 10 rats, turn in a quest, get this thing. You had all these other ways about going about and doing it, and they totally removed that. Honestly, go back and look at the Manifesto of Guild Wars 2 video. Watch it now and see how much has changed, and to go to what they said they're against.
He has... this is one of the things that's just a huge piss off. Like, I can understand, sure, it's really, really confusing, because there's a lot of mechanics that they don't bother explaining. In fact, there's a lot of mechanics they still don't explain. With the level pop-up, the icon talking about downstate at level 5 was bigger, like physically bigger, than the one talking about my profession skill, my F1. So, if you look at it, my primary reward was the downstate, and my secondary reward was the mechanic for my profession. So, who's to say that you're actually going to click on both, that you're going to see both, or whatever? And stuff like that, walking out of the tutorial, you don't know how to dodge, you press 1 for attack, you don't know how to strafe, and you can move the camera. And depending on which boss you fought, you might have figured out that red circle is bad. All it would have taken them to do was to run a couple of extra events. Like, in the Char one, you have to talk to the guy who's basically downed past the barracks. If he sends you off somewhere to reinforce, say, the mortars for a little bit, oh no, there's this big firewall, you have to just dodge roll to get past that. Well, there's your tutorial for dodge. in the tutorial level.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're dealing with, maybe you have to fight off some waves or something like that. Like, basically the Harpy event.
Right.
You do that for a little bit, because now you're actually having to do combat. Like, you have to kill so many enemies or something, but it's something hidden, and then they're shouting, "Oh, hey, we're making an advance on the crypt. Head over there." Then you can at least teach some people, and then you can use this level guide, like this leveling pop-up, to actually start talking about some of the more advanced features. Because they still don't talk about combos. I played for 2 years before I found out about truly figured out how to set off combos with a thief.
Oh boy.
Yes, Alu. Exactly.
Yes.
They aren't teaching anyone. Like, the tutorial doesn't teach you anything, and that's what the tutorial is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So they aren't teaching it. They're just delaying a whole bunch of other stuff so that maybe you can figure it out on your own, but you have to go out and do research and ask people.
Yes, Alu's exact quote is, the problem, they aren't teaching people, they're just delaying when they learn. And then they still have to learn it themselves.
Yeah.
Like what you said and what VTA here said, teach them things in the tutorial rather than in the starting zone. A tutorial, I mean, players are spoiled now. I could go on and on about how when I was growing up, video games didn't have a tutorial. You had 2 to 4 buttons and you just figured the game out. That's how they worked. We were okay with that. Now, every game just gives you a tutorial that tells you exactly what to do. Gamers expect the stupid, boring tutorial for the beginning 5 to 15 minutes of the game that teaches them everything they need to know. Give us that, and then let the starting zones, leave them alone.
Well, I mean, I can understand why they didn't put a whole bunch of this stuff into the tutorial before, because the tutorial is not instant. It's not. I remember because, okay, for those of you who don't know me from before Guild Wars and CoT, if Jex is even still here, he might be the only one online who knows this. I am usually a one-character person. It takes me so long to get a single character to be worthwhile that I pick one character and I stick with it. So when I signed up for the early betas, I was constantly cycling through characters and classes, because I'm like, this is going to be my one character for like the next 3 years, so I'm going to make sure it's the right class for me. So I was doing those tutorials over and over and over and over and over again. I thought the downstate was actually part of the boss phase for Baradin. Because I was always down, because there was just so many people. Like, we're talking about hundreds of people in every single instance, that, like, you couldn't see what was going on. You were just, all of a sudden, your skills changed, so you just worked with it. So, like, now, it's a big deal if you see another person in the tutorial. So there's no reason why they can't run events off to the side or something like that to teach people things.
Alu says, I saw 2 people in a 5-minute span, new characters, day after the patch, who were confused with how the game was going. One person was so confused as to why they were suddenly hit with a downstate, because we know after 4 levels, you may be clicking through the rewards to get them off screen. They literally used the word sudden to refer to it getting the downstate after they were not used to having it. So...
yeah.
I don't know.
So now what's happening is, as they're figuring out the game is changing.
Yes. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
And, I mean, so that's happening. None of the classes are special anymore, because, I mean, for me, on my Guardian, I unlocked F1. It's not sitting on the bar where it's supposed to. Normally, it sits, like, above my weapon 2 skill. It's currently sitting, like, in the middle of that space, because the other 2 are not unlocked yet. Elementalist, you have to make it to, what, level 25 or 30 before you finally get all the elements?
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that as a new character.
I know. Death Row doesn't exist. My warrior is shouting about getting, like, because I had a key farming warrior that I tried, and she was shouting about gaining adrenaline and losing adrenaline. what the hell is adrenaline? What does that have to do with anything? Because it's not there. It's literally missing. Like, it's not even like it's grayed out, you can't use this yet. It's just
can't
not
see it?
there. It's missing from the UI. And will remain missing from the UI until you unlock it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Alu makes a good point that I've seen show up multiple times. You are now expected to go into the Askel and Catacombs dungeon without all your skills unlocked.
Oh, you're right.
You're still missing utility skills. Your access to the skills are not just based on whether or not you have the skill points, but also whether or not you're the correct level to be able to purchase them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't build your character to suit your stuff. Who's Kate? Zenchu.
Oh, Kate, she was one of the live streamers. She did Points of Interest.
Oh.
Yeah, she just left. She just started, and then she left.
Yeah.
There's been like 2 or 3 people who are leaving. That's also got people curious. So.
Well, I have a feeling that they probably don't like how things are going.
Yeah.
If they're being forced to do things that aren't right, then...
Well, let's...
Yeah, this isn't hard mode guide, this is frustrating mode. And actually with this, I mean, because I love playing this game so much that I have 8 or 9 different characters. I would never dream of making another after all the hassles that are going through trying to unlock stuff.
You're talking to a guy who has like 19 characters. I'm not planning on making any more alts now.
Yeah. Like, I keep forcing myself to play, what do I call her? Something water tester, because I'm testing the waters of the patch. That's my Char Guardian, and I picked Guardian because I find that really easy and fun class to play. I can play it like not paying attention because they're tanks. And I might continue playing her just for the purpose of saying, well, I'm not hating it because I'm a veteran. I'm actually trying it out.
Right.
But yeah, they've gone about it all wrong. So wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jax, I remember you spent days in that dungeon trying to figure it out.
Oh my god, the one path took forever. The one with the 2, with like the lover's path, with you had like the 2 things with all the mounds pop up. Oh my god, that took so long.
Jax went into it before a lot of people had even made it to doing AT story. I think you managed to get a couple people from our itty bitty tiny little guild to go do it, or did you have to pug some? But yeah, I remember he spent a lot of time trying to figure out, like, the dungeon was so new, no one knew how to play it. Like, so now, could you imagine trying to figure out how to do the dungeon? Assuming that no one who's super experienced is going to escort you through there without some of the skills. Like, gah.
Let's see. Did you experience any of the personal story gating at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Care to elaborate on that a little bit?
None of my characters have access to personal story unless they're already level 80.
Okay.
Like, none of them do. I think I had one... Yeah, basically, the personal story, you get the level 2 story, which is go help a heart, and then your personal story just disappears.
Then you wait till level 10.
It's like you started and then it disappears. And the thing is, they haven't changed any of the wording at all, so they still say go help a local, not a whole bunch of locals. So it doesn't even fit in there.
Good.
Because, like, if they said, hey, go help a whole bunch of locals build up your legend, that would make sense, you know? I had a character, Elementalist, and she's like, I guess now she's level 19, but she was like 17 or 18. And I had made it to personal story level 11. And it's gone. I have to wait till I'm 20. Like, I could have finished that chapter. Even being an elementalist, I could have totally soloed that.
Right.
But no.
So, I think that's pretty much all of the updates from the patch. The only thing that I completely missed was they, of course, you know, after I do all these experiments where I buy tons of Black Lion keys, they removed, like I've been saying for the longest time, Essence of 50 luck and Essence of 100 luck from Black Lion chests, which was just a waste. And the 1 skill point scroll of knowledge has been removed as well. And they have added the basic die pack drop has been reduced by half, and they've added in the following items: Flame die kit, Frost die kit, Deathly die kit, Toxic die kit, Metallurgic die kit, Lion's Arch Survivor die kit, Lion's Arch Commemorative die kit, Heavy crafting bag, Large crafting bag, Medium crafting bag, and Utility primer.
Yeah, so all the exclusive die packs.
Correct. And apparently weapon tickets and ticket scraps have an increased drop rate. And all minis, backpacked, endless tonics, and permanent contracts have a slightly increased drop rate. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the funny thing about how much I have not been interested in the things that ANET have been doing lately. I haven't purchased a Black Lion key since I made that video. Now, those of you who don't know me, that's pretty uncommon, because I was buying gems roughly every 2 weeks because there would be like a skin or something came out in the gem store that I really wanted. So I would buy gems, buy what I wanted, and then use the remainder to buy keys, and then just have at it.
Yeah.
I haven't given ANET any money in months. They're not doing it for me. And like, this is a company that I waited for this game for 5 years. I spent 8 years in Guild Wars 1. You know, I spent I don't know how many countless nights on Friday nights in college because I was that cool, raiding dungeons in the Eye of the North, waiting and speculating about what was going to happen with Guild Wars 2, drooling over early Gamescom footage. You know, I mean, I was playing this game. This game launched the weekend before my wedding, like, to the point where I was balancing wedding planning and like, oh, can I get to Twilight Arbor? Can I hit level 40 to do Twilight Arbor story beforehand? To the point where like in 2 days I was level like 45 because I played for like 48 hours straight.
Jeez.
I sent my wife to a spa to get her out of the house so that I could just play games and not have her yelling at me to work on the wedding. And then I brought my laptop and played on our honeymoon after she fell asleep every night in the hotel. So, like, I recall her passed out in the bed next to me, me with my headphones on, like, with my laptop on my, like, doing dungeons with, like, Chronicles of Tyria. Like, that's how much I love this game, and they're just not winning me over.
Yeah, well, I swore that this would be my last MMO, and now I'm all like, there's nothing special left to it.
I mean, I love this game, and, you know, it's sad, but it might. I'm not saying it's going to. They might totally wow me, but that jumping puzzle. Oh my god. Shut up, Alan. But I don't know. Guild Wars 1, after a while of just people I knew stop playing, it turned into a holiday game. I would come on to Guild Wars 1 and I'd play every single holiday. Winter's Day, Halloween, the Dragon Festival, all those things. Play them, love Guild Wars 2 for like that week-long span of the holiday. Play it, and then I'd be done with it. I'd leave it alone. And they're not, I mean, unless this next living story really sucks me back in. I don't know, man. I love the game and I love the community, parts of the community, let's be honest. And I love the people that I've met as part of this game, but if they're gonna keep making these changes where they shoot themselves in the foot like this, I don't know. Like, it's gonna be, you know what? ANET can win me over with an excellently crafted Halloween. Because Halloween was one thing that kept me engaged in Guild Wars 1 for all those years when like I'd stop playing for a while and not come back. The Mad King and Halloween and exclusive hats would bring me back. And now there's actually story things involved with it in Guild Wars 2. So they could really...
Well, I honestly think that Halloween is going to be the make or break for a lot of veterans, because, like, I honestly do feel like I've been betrayed, and I don't take betrayal very well. Once you break my trust, like, because I freely give my trust way too well right off the hop. So when you break it, you're kind of screwed for quite some time. And I really feel like they've broken my trust and basically lied. They're falling back on all the things that they promised in the beginning. So if Halloween isn't spectacular, then really, go in for the 1 hour a week to play the new story if it's interesting. Yeah.
No, I know. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that. I mean, you're talking to a guy who's been feeling this way and built a whole set of Guild Wars armor.
Like, and wants to do it in metal.
Yeah, and wants to build it in metal. I mean, I might still do that anyway, just for funsies. But I mean, you know what? And the part of it is, I love PvP in Guild Wars 2. PvP in Guild Wars 1 was my jam. That's how I started Guild Wars 1. I played Guild Wars 1 for 6 months without ever touching story. I just PvP'd. And that's at least something that I have that I can fall back on in Guild Wars 2. Like, if the story is really shitty, then I can just play PvP. There's a team that I know of that's sort of recruited me to try to do the Tournament of Glory. So that would be really cool if I could get in and like do that. But like they were like, "Are you in?" And I was like, when is it? I don't even know. Like, I'm so out of the loop right now, and I haven't PvP'd in months.
Yeah.
And you know what? And this is another thing. And again, I didn't want this to be this kind of a podcast, but this is just how it is, because this is kind of the community as a whole. Right
now.
Yeah. I don't MMO. Like, just to put that out there. Like, I don't play MMOs. I've never played... If you consider Guild Wars 1 an MMO, which a lot of people don't, that's the only, like, PC game that I've played since Diablo 2 was new. If that is any frame of reference for anybody. Like, 13 years ago at this point, it was the last computer game I played Guild Wars. That was it. Yeah. It's the only game I played on my PC. And the only, quote, MMO that I've ever played is Guild Wars 2. So it's not like I'm an MMO guy and I go through cycles and I play MMOs and I play it till I'm done with it and I move on to the next one. Like, never played World of Warcraft, I never played SWTOR, Terra, any of those games. Just Guild Wars. Like, seriously, Anet, you owe me. I've given you so much money. Like, no, I'm just kidding. I don't feel like they should give me anything because of, the time that I've spent with this. But I want to be rewarded for my loyalty through them making me want to keep being loyal to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It does to me.
So,
I mean, they're trying to pull in an entirely different group of people into the game, and by doing so are alienating those of us who are already loyal.
You want an analogy for this? I got one perfectly for you.
Yeah.
ArenaNet is becoming Nintendo. Nintendo, one of my favorite gaming company of all time. Some of the best characters, some of the best games. You look, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64 especially, phenomenal. Game Boy, Game Boy Advance. Then you got GameCube, great games. What comes after the GameCube? The Wii. Okay? Totally design shift. All the hardcore games dropped completely. You know what you get? You get family and kids that don't play video games regularly coming to play your new game system. And you totally alienate your entire fan base that grew up playing these games. There's a reason that the word Nintendo hard is a thing. Like, because games used to be like that. And then you came out with the Wii U. Okay? I could go on for days about how the Wii U is just a virtual mistake happening again like the Virtual Boy was back in the 90s. weird peripheral that people don't understand, and poor games choice. I mean, people didn't even know the Wii U was a game. They thought it was just like a separate controller. It's a whole new system. The thing is, they're working, at least at this point now, after this whole tanking, Nintendo is trying to get their hardcore fan base back by making games that we want, like a new Zelda game and a new Smash Brothers game and a new this game and a new that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, their handheld console games have always been solid. That's one thing they've always had. You know what ArenaNet doesn't have? A handheld console system to keep their fans engaged while they screw up on the console. They don't have that. You know what I mean? And if you look at Nintendo's example, let's break out from the people that love us and have always supported us and grab a new player base and a new fan base. And you know what? That's great for a little while. And then when you try to do something different, it's not, you already lost your original fan base that made you who you were, and you did something different from the fan base that you just built, and then you're shit out of luck and you're posting, the 4th or 8th straight quarter of losses. And I mean, this is Nintendo. They're a multi-million, billion-dollar company. ArenaNet's small potatoes compared to them, and so they can't afford something like this. So don't alienate your hardcore player base that made you who you are today. You already did enough of that between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. That's why there's still people playing Guild Wars
1. Yeah.
And again, I didn't want this to be that, but that's how I feel, like, at this point. And I'm not even that upset about the feature pack, all told, but I don't know. It struck a chord, because you know what? You hit the nail on the head with the trust thing, because that's what happened with Nintendo.
Yeah. I think
sorry.
that's why most people are upset.
Yeah.
They've redacted everything that they've ever been.
Yeah.
And that it's not necessarily the changes or the fact that they've come, it's the fact that they're going against everything that they've ever said. And it's like, I understand what they're trying to do, but they're going about it all wrong.
And again, you can do this the right way. Sometimes you take a gamble and it works out great. Your Domino's pizza and you redesign your entire pizza menu completely. Get rid of your whole 30 minutes or less, or it's free, crappy cardboard pizza that everybody knows what you're getting. And you make a whole new design. And you know what? It's a risk, and it worked great for them. But you know what? Like I said, I don't know. I'm really worried for ArenaNet, because they're an awesome company with awesome people. But, like, watch Colin Johansson in, like, the Guild Wars Manifesto, and how, like, he is about everything. And, like, so excited, and how we're so different. And then, like, watch him now backpedaling and redacting things to try to cover his own ass because of the way people are lashing out at the feature pack. I don't know. I mean, this was the WoW killer. Remember that? That didn't work.
Yeah.
Although I will admit that it seems like WoW took some elements from Guild Wars 2. Like, they added the puzzle jumping not too long after, jumping puzzles came out.
A comment that's shown up many times is a lot of the other MMOs, whether they're new coming out or they're just issuing new expansions and stuff, they're adding in Guild Wars 2 elements. They're trying to become Guild Wars, and then Guild Wars is becoming them. So the Guild Wars literally will not be special anymore.
No. I mean, yeah, I do know there are other MMOs out there that have added things like the event system, and those work out well. But yeah, you're right. It was heralded Game of the Year from like 30 different places for all the ways it was breaking. Broke the Holy Trinity, and it broke all these different grounds and all these different rules and made something of itself that was not seen by other MMOs before or really since. And now, like you said, they're going to turn themselves into what they were trying to not be in the first place. And really, like, I mean, you wouldn't vote for a politician that did that.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I guess if you vote at all. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Oh, Jack says Vistas in Final Fantasy XIV. I lolled when that was added. There you go.
Yeah. Anywho, we should get off this rant train.
Yeah, let's move on.
Here's Craft Corner?
Yeah, let's do that. What do we got?
We got a fun little... is it ever going to redirect me? There we go. Fun little comic strip.
Okay, let's... So Char, you thief around here often. Oh, don't mind me. Just testing portal frequency. Oh man, that's too funny.
Yeah.
So this is from Kitsune. Kitsune, is that?
Yeah.
Like I know who they are.
Kitsune is also the Japanese word for fox.
For
so it
Fox,
gets used
no.
quite often.
I know, but I feel like this is someone that I know. Like this name and this art style is someone that I've spoken to before.
Kitsune
2022.
2022.
Yeah, I feel like that's just, it rings a bell with those numbers and everything.